You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to be going through yet another tie-in to that dark web. This is Mary Jane and Black Cat number 2, and let's not waste time. Let's just get right to the credits and the recap. Yes, this is written by Jed MacKay, art by Vincenzo Carrattu. I know I'm saying that wrong. I have to be saying that wrong. Please, if anybody knows how to pronounce it, let me know. I apologize in advance. Colors, Brian Reber. Letters by VC's Ariana Mayer. Here we go. We're having a recap here that has a lot of AKAs, AKA everything. I'm going to add my own in as well. I want to get involved in this game here. Mary Jane Watson and Felicia Hardy, AKA the Black Cat, are in a bit of a jam, AKA trouble. Ever since Ben Reilly, a.k.a. Chasm, and Madeline Pryor, a.k.a. the Goblin Queen, opened the doors to Limbo, demonic spirits have been possessing everyday objects, a.k.a. complete and utter nonsense, wreaking havoc on New York City, a.k.a. the Big Apple. Whew! Felicia made her way across the city to help MJ and her family as a favor to Peter Parker, a.k.a. SpiderMan. But when Felicia arrived, she was surprised to find MJ had powers and was fully capable of defending herself. Teaming up, the two women began to fight their way through the city when they were sucked through a portal into Limbo, a.k.a. sexy as hell, or Limbo, right? And found themselves face to face with Belasco, a.k.a. Limbo's former ruler. We did it. We made it through the a.k.a. recap. Now, what the heck is this issue all about? Well, I will tell you right up front that Mary Jane and Black Cat number 2 is not the worst tie into dark web. Problem is, I can't really tell you it's necessary either. That's pretty much my biggest complaint. But another complaint I have is that while we're in dark web, I don't need Jed MacKay to join in with Zeb Wells' nonsense of talking about that big thing that happened to Mary Jane in Amazing Spider-Man without actually talking about anything at all. We even have one of the worst editor's notes. If you are reading Amazing Spider-Man, you go and read this, and you end up where Mary Jane kind of alludes to things and, beats around the bush as she always does. And then it says, see Amazing Spider-Man number 1. I wanted to slap the comic right upside its comic face. I'm like, I'm not going to go see that again. You didn't tell me crap there. So this whole play is just infuriating for people, I think, that have been reading Zeb Wells' run of Amazing Spider-Man. And then Jed MacKay even adds in his own little whammy with these Mary Jane jackpot powers that just came up in this book. We didn't see them before. We had them last issue. Now we have them again here. Mary Jane starts to explain them a little, but it's more of the consequences of them, not actually explaining how she got these powers, what they mean. She seems to have used them a bunch of times because she keeps doing this. And you get this running joke where Black Cat keeps telling her and reminding her, yeah, last issue, your powers made pudding. Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess it is Jed MacKay trying to have fun here, but it really isn't that much fun. Now, this is a dark web tie-in, so we are going to get that sort of fun, right? And I will give Jed MacKay some credit here. He doesn't get that involved in the over-the-top nonsense. Thank God we're in Limbo, so you don't have some of this stuff going on up there in New York City. But still, you see that Jed MacKay is trying to have fun. There's just nothing to the story. There's just nothing to dark web, so he really can't grab onto anything. Because what we have here is the duo having dinner with Belasco, the former ruler of Limbo. And yeah, really, you have Jed MacKay trying to squeeze some fun out of this, where Mary Jane is kind of acting like she's in Temple of Doom with the, chilled monkey brains. But here it's, is that unicorn? Is that part of Belasco? And it just, everything thuds because overall, there's nothing to this dark web story to really grab onto. And you can tell that that's a fact because while I do like a lot of Jed MacKay's Black Cat stuff, including the Mary Jane Black Cat team up during the Beyond story, a lot of this story and this issue is Felicia wondering what Mary Jane will say when she finds out about Peter. So that's another thing from Amazing Spider-Man. Nothing really to do with this dark web. Mary Jane, she can't shut up about her kids and her husband, this sort of thing. Again, without really telling us much about kid's husband, and then even throw in the powers. So most of the stuff that is the main concern of our main characters here have nothing to do with this dark web. So how we get the dark web stuff is we get what we always get with Black Cat. It's going to be a generic heist. It's going to be just, hey, I need this, you go get it. And yeah, Belasco wants a soul sword, and this is a way, if you get my soul sword, I'll get you out of limbo. Unfortunately, it is in the Screaming Tower that suddenly reappeared, and pretty much every demon and his cousin are after this. So you end up getting a mad limbo set up here without Buddy Hackett. And without Buddy Hackett, it's not that good. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Now, you end up where, again, Jed McKay's trying, but it's pretty pedestrian action scenes to end up with a cliffhanger where their gal's face to face with yet another former ruler of Limbo. Though any kind of surprise here is kind of ruined from earlier seeing that character, and the character was introduced by name then. So you already saw the character and you're like, okay, so at the end, oh, what's going to go on here? And overall, the best way I can describe this issue, it's a quote unquote, not really issue to me. If you ask me questions, was it bad? Not really. Was it good? Not really. Was it necessary? You get my point. Not really. I mean, you could go down the line. It really just ends up being an issue that's thrown out there. It's part of this dark web deal. You could get involved if you want. The thing, though, for me is I get excited anytime Jed McKay gets to write Black Cat. And I was hoping that this book would actually help me through this dark web event. It would be something that I could end up looking forward to in a sea of issues that I am not looking forward to. And in the end, it didn't really do it. Again, did it help me? Not really. So with that, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I thought the art was pretty good, but it just felt uninspired. It just felt like no spark at all to it. It's just something where Jed McKay gets to write Black Cat again, and unfortunately, it has to tie into an event, and away we go. So I was a little bit disappointed overall with that. But please subscribe to the channel, like the video, enable the notifications, and let me know what you thought of Mary Jane Black Cat #2 and Dark Web in general in the comments below. I keep saying this about, hey, let me know what you think about the Dark Web. I kind of understand what most people think of the Dark Web. It's a dud, but here we are. We'll get through it together, and that's that. But thanks, everybody, and I will talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.